Hello and welcome back to Game World Talk Show at Omega Studio. I am your host, Nneoma Ezugwu, here again with your electronic Einstein Kingsley Ezugwu.
Once again, thank you for having me, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you all of our viewers for seeing our last video. It was really uplifting to see a large number of viewers, but it would be even better this time if you could go to the comment section and write something for us, like your opinions, your thoughts, video ideas, even some more questions for our Einstein. Anyway, today we will be comparing the ZTE Axon 7 and the Oneplus 3.
That's right, this will be a side-by-side comparison. Let's begin. First, we'll start with the ZTE Axon 7. The weight of these devices. The ZTE Axon 7 has a weight of 6.17 ounces, while the Oneplus 3 has a weight of 5.57 ounces, meaning if you're looking for a lighter phone, the Oneplus 3 is the winner. Now, as for the actual screen size, the screen size on these phones, both have 5.5-inch displays, so you're not going to get a bigger screen on any of them. Now, as for the resolution on these screens, well, the ZTE Axon 7 has a 2560 x 1440 pixel resolution, while the Oneplus 3 has a resolution of 1920 x 1090 pixel resolution. This means that if you're looking for a higher resolution display, the ZTE Axon 7 is the winner. Now, as for the screen to body ratio, if you don't know what that means, this means that it shows how much of your actual phone is actually screen and not bezel. So the higher the percent, the more screen you have. So, as for the ZTE Axon 7, we have 73.27% of it is actually screen, and the Oneplus 3 is 73.15%. This means you have more screen than bezel on the ZTE Axon 7. Now, as for the camera pixel, well, for the ZTE Axon 7, the rear camera has 20 megapixels, but the Oneplus 3 has a rear camera of 16 megapixels. But both front-facing cameras are 8 megapixels. So, if you're looking for a better megapixel phone, the ZTE Axon 7 is the way to go. Now, as for the aperture size, also if you don't know what that means, the aperture, well, the lower the aperture, the better low-light photos you can take. So, the ZTE Axon 7 has an aperture of f1.8, while the Oneplus 3 has an aperture of f2.0. Meaning, for better low-light photos, I'd recommend the ZTE Axon 7. Now, as for the processor inside, the ZTE Axon 7 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 820 processor, same as the Oneplus 3. But what they're clocked at is different. They're both quad-core, but the ZTE Axon 7 has a 2150 MHz processor, while the Oneplus 3 has a 2200 MHz processor. This means for a faster phone, I'd recommend the Oneplus 3. Now, as for the RAM inside, I explained this in my other video if you don't know, so if you haven't seen it, I recommend that you go check this out. Now, the ZTE Axon 7 has 4 GB of RAM, but the Oneplus 3 has 6 GB of RAM. So, if you're looking for more RAM, the Oneplus 3 is the way to go. But the ZTE Axon 7 does not fall short because it has micro SD expansion, something the Oneplus 3 does not. Now, as for the battery size, the ZTE Axon 7 has a battery size of 3,250 megaamps, while the Oneplus 3 just has 3,000 megaamps. Well, for a bigger battery, I recommend going with the ZTE Axon 7. Now, as for the price of these phones, well, first I would say this. The price of the ZTE Axon 7 is $400, but if you get it on a deal, you can get it for as low as $350. While the Oneplus has a price of $399. But I will say this, as you can find the ZTE Axon 7 at Best Buy, Walmart, eBay, and Amazon, you can't find the Oneplus 3 anywhere but on their website. Also, I'd like to mention there are different variants of these phones. For the OnePlus 3, there's another one called the OnePlus 3T, which basically has a bigger battery and a bigger megapixel count in the front. While the ZTE Axon 7 has more RAM, 3D touch, if you don't know what that is, it's just a better way of navigating through your phone, and it also has 128 gigabytes of RAM. But the OnePlus 3T is $449, but the ZTE Axon 7 Premium Edition, which is the one I just mentioned, is $500. So it's really just what you're looking for. Now, enough about the specs. Let's talk about what are you going to get in the phone when you buy it. Now, when you first open up the ZTE Axon 7's well-packaged design, you will find the phone. After the phone, well, you will find the USB Type-C from micro SD adapter, I meant to say micro USB to USB Type-C adapter inside. You'll also find the SIM card tool used for putting in and taking out the SIM card in the micro SD card. You also find a clear case, headphones, a screen protector, and a 2-year coverage plan. This is called Passport 2.0. Now for the OnePlus 3, when you first get it, you're going to see the OnePlus phone, the charger, the charging block, and, well, the main guide. Pretty disappointing. So if you're looking for a phone that is well packaged and has more stuff, go for the ZTE Axon 7.
Based on what I've been hearing, it sounds like the OnePlus 3 is a really bad phone.
It's really not a bad phone. It's really actually a really good phone. Here's the difference between the two. The OnePlus 3 is for those people who want something fast. Now, the ZTE Axon 7 is for those people like me who love multimedia. Meaning, if you don't know what multimedia is, I'm talking about video, audio, camera, all that. That's what the ZTE Axon 7. It has a good headphone amp. It has front-facing speakers, Dolby Atmos sound. It also has many other things. But the OnePlus 3 is more of a chipset thing, you know, if you want to be fast. But what's the point of being fast if you don't have the power? This makes sense. That's why I would personally recommend the ZTE Axon 7.
Before we go, how about a question in the viewer's perspective? How do you know when you're getting the best phone?
Well, most people, when they look for a phone, they think the higher the price, the more you're going to get. Now, that is not true. Let me say this. The only reason they're that high is because of popularity. Apple, Google, Samsung, $600 and above phones. No one has time to be spending that much money on phones, and then they still have bills to pay and everything like that. While for half the price, you can even find a better phone. That's why I'd recommend the OnePlus 3 and the ZTE Axon 7 over many of these higher priced phones. Why? Because for each dollar, you get what you're getting. While for the Apple iPhone 7, the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, the Google Pixel, the LG V20, these phones are going to be outdated next year, and they're not going to be worth the $800 you paid them for. So, why do that? Doesn't make sense. So, I recommend whatever you're looking for in a phone is what you should buy. If you're looking for multimedia, I recommend the ZTE Axon 7. If you're looking for the OnePlus 3, which is probably processing power, that's what you will get. Now, I also got to say this. The only consequence of getting these cheaper phones, well, is brand name. No one's heard of ZTE or OnePlus 3. But everybody's heard of Samsung, Apple, Google, LG. Everybody knows what those are. But it doesn't matter what other people think. It matters what you're getting out of your phone. And if you want more out of your phone, go for the OnePlus 3 and the ZTE Axon 7. That is my personal recommendation. Now, Destiny, which phone do you think you want?
Judging by everything I've heard about you talking about all these phones, I would say the Axon 7. That thing got everything I'm looking for.
Good choice, good choice. Why? What does it have in particular that you're looking for?
Camera, RAM, screen, battery. Man, I could go on and on and on.
Nice choice, nice choice. See, that's a really nice choice that she made right there. The ZTE Axon 7, in my opinion, is the way to go.
Since you've heard our opinions, it's time we heard yours in the comment section. I'm your host, Destiny Ezugwu.
And I'm your electronic Einstein, Kingsley Ezugwu.
Thank you for watching. Put on that thing, it's so crazy. They put on the ceiling, they put on the wall, they put on the mirror. I'm just like,
which one is it for? Which device?
iPhone.
No.
Put on that thing, it's so crazy. They put on the ceiling, they put on the wall, they put on the mirror. I'm just like,
which one is it for? Which device?
iPhone.
No.